Hey guys, Steven here, Fanatic Perspective. Got a Lando show in the building. We're here off a 38-27 victory over the Baylor Bears. We now finish up the regular season 8-4. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Landon,
Yep.
happy Thanksgiving, my brother.
Happy Thanksgiving to you too, man. Couple
You
couple
know,
big wins for our two teams the last couple days and a
I
week ago as well.
know.
That's four straight. So I don't know what we're doing to deserve this
We're
right
living
now,
right.
but whatever it is, let's keep it up.
We're living right, brother. You know,
Yep.
it's funny. Um, it's Friday, and both of our teams got a dub.
Mm. We get
And
to
it's
enjoy a
Friday.
stress-free weekend and just take in the rest of an amazing
Mhm.
sports weekend today. Team USA today too, man. I didn't expect that. A draw with England. So
With
hey,
England, yep,
life is good, man.
wrapped up Team USA. So a lot of good stuff. We are going to have a few of you guys in here on camera from the chat.
Yep.
Guys that are those of you who support this channel, those of you who continue to stand behind us and help us grow this platform as content creators. We're gonna hear from some of you guys, so give you opportunity to really present, as Nash said earlier, a
I'm
true
ex-
fanatic perspective, right?
Sir, I'm excited for
Uh,
this, man. That's a great idea. When you told me that, I was pumped. So I'm looking forward to hearing from
well,
these people.
folks have been reaching out, and I think it's time.
Yeah.
Cameron Parker, I see you in here. Absolutely a ninth birthday present. Happy birthday. Cameron
Mm.
Parker, I've been trying to get you on I told you to hit me up so I can get you a link. You said get me in there, Steve. Dude, send me. I'm on every platform. Send me a DM. I'll send you a link so you can come on the show, and I'll let you talk your stuff. But oh, your b day is Monday. But send me your d. Amagi said she wants or he you want to jump on the show. Hit me in the DMs on Twitter, Fanatic Perspective, Instagram. I've sent out a couple links on Instagram already, so we out here rolling. Landon,
Yes, sir.
as we get started, man, bumpy start in the first half,
Yeah.
but I think today, and I'm gonna hand it off to you. This team, like our Dallas Cowboys, got better in the second half.
Yep.
This team showed us something. Talk to
Hmm.
me about, where we're going into the half, what, down 19-17,
Yeah.
back and forth football game, and we end up winning this game. Texas ends up covering. What are your thoughts there?
We actually surrendered the lead multiple different occasions. So my biggest thing is second half Sark has started to trend positively, more in the right direction these last couple weeks. Uh, Most notably against KU, and then obviously Baylor, who KU can talk all day about them being an inferior opponent, a much smaller team. We just kind of out physical them. Makes it really easy for somebody like Sark to assert his will, really just turn around and hand it off number 5, number 2, and let them go to work, which is exactly what they did today. But the adjustment was essentially, man, do what we do best, and this team is finally understanding its identity. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, it's telling me my device is connected. I'm having issues with my video here. Just let me know.
Okay,
I'll try to
just keep
try to get that
talking.
worked
Your
out.
video's gone down, but I can hear you fine. Just keep
Okay.
talking.
Yeah. So just the halftime adjustments and basically just this team sticking to what they do best. And the offensive line deserves a lot of credit too. But just Roshan and Bijan essentially putting the team on their back, man, and saying, "Look, we're gonna do this thing on Senior Day, which is probably going to end up being their last home game at Texas, obviously, right? So um, maybe Bijan's last game ever, depending on what happens tomorrow night. We're all going to be big KU fans too, of course.
Absolutely.
All aboard the Jalen Daniels train, right? So, but yeah, just not quitting, man. Quinn had 2 major freshman critical mistakes today, but I saw him bounce back. And hearing Quint Kesnick talk a little bit about the body language and all that stuff. I saw you tweet it too, man. It was getting on my nerves, and I was glad to see Quinn respond in a positive way. He hit some really good throw. I thought he threw the football very well today. I'll just leave it at that. Only 16 attempts. Whether or not you want to say that was by design after the strip sack again, start taking the ball out of his hands, if you will, whatever the case may be. He threw the football well. So that was also positive. Again, it's really just this team sticking to what they do best. And I have written down here, I'm so proud of this defense. The big men up front, particularly, kind of just leading the way and allowing playmakers like Jahdae Barron and Jalen Ford and DeMar Overshown just to go be playmakers. And now we're looking at a potential Big 12 Player of the Year candidate defensively, and Jalen Ford. That was just fun to see, man. So, like I said, I have written down right here, you can win a championship with this defense led by Pete Kwiatkowski. And, now it's looking like Devondre Sweat's going to be returning. I heard today that he didn't participate in the senior day activities, which is a great sign for this defense as well. So I like what the defense is likely going to have returning next year. The bowl game, an extra month of development for Quinn Ewers cannot be overstated. I really loved what Kieran was hammering home on his show last week number 2 of Take a Sip, which has been a great product so far. I've enjoyed listening to him do that. But he talked about basically Quinn Ewers having 9 months in a very, very intense, I would say, scheme from Steve Sarkisian, right? So
yes,
it's a pro style scheme, and he expects and commands a lot from his quarterback, which is why we're seeing him go after some of these crazy, highly touted prospects out of high school, right? So he wants a guy that can do it all, and sometimes doing it all takes a little bit more time than we as fans are willing to give them credit for. So I'm excited to see the development and us continuing to do what we do best.
Let me ask you a question there, though. So that's been. I agree with what you said earlier. You said you thought Quinn threw the football well today.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you. In terms of the actual pass, he only had 16 passing attempts. He went for, and I'll bring up the stats here in a second. He went for, Cameron, I'll send you the email. I'll email you the link here in a second as well. But he went for 12 of 16. Let me go ahead and bring up the passing stats right now. Just so
12 of 16 is correct.
Right. So when we look at the actual passing attempts in terms of how the football is coming out of his hand, he did throw for 194 yards. Yes, some of those were screen passes and some chunk yardage that I thought we did actually a pretty good job generating at the line of scrimmage. But I think the frustration in regards to Quinn is more the general command and awareness as a quarterback when you're in certain areas of the field and having a good internal clock. Does that make sense? Like the to start the game with a safety with kind of carelessly throwing the football out there. And granted, I actually put some blame there with Steve Sarkisian in terms of not just running the football, being conservative. Hey, let's not even put ourselves in that situation.
Right.
Let's get ready to punt the football and get out of there.
Right.
But there's other aspects there where, he takes the sack where he has opportunity to throw it away. And you see sometimes where Quinn does use his legs. He can use athleticism. They called a zone read for a touchdown today where he scores a rushing touchdown.
Yeah.
Is that just they need more time together, him and Sark? Because some of this stuff I don't even think is scheme related. I mean, some of it is scheme related, yes. Some of this stuff is just like, I play quarterback one way and you do things another way. So I said this with Hudson Card, there has to be somewhere where they find compromise long term, in my opinion. And Landon, after you answer this question, we're going to bring our first fan on, who I have waiting back here for us. But go ahead, Landon.
How's the camera quality? Can you see me again? I'm trying to get that worked out too. So
I don't have you on right now.
Okay. I think it should be okay.
I'm showing the stats.
Got you. So hit me with that question one more time. I'm sorry, Steve.
No, just in terms of the difference between what is scheme related with Sark, because we do know the complexity of a pro style scheme and everything he's doing, not just pro style, but even for a pro style offense, his offense is complex versus certain things that are just, I don't even deem them as freshman mistakes. It's just, hey, I need you to have a sense of urgency if you have the ball inside the 10-yard line. If you're
Mhm.
throwing out of your end zone, understanding where you need to get the football
Yep.
and, hey, I got to get the ball out. I can't hold. If the screen is not there, I can't pump fake and then hold it and think that, like, you can't get, I said this to you guys, you can't get away with that at Southlake, right?
Yeah.
Like, some of those things, I feel like there has to be some sort of compromise, though, in terms of the way Quinn is most confident playing quarterback and what Steve Sarkisian ideally wants from his quarterback. There has to be
Mhm.
some sort of compromise long term. I just wanted to get your thoughts there.
Yeah, no, I think I'm actually with you right there, man. The thing is tricky to me, and the way that I kind of process that question in my head, it's like, okay, at what point do we also stop and consider that clearly either there's a lack of talent at the receiver position or a lack of trust? One of those two, because there's really only two guys that are getting rep when we're not in a two receiver set, right? So something's going on there. Like, I don't know if there's just a lot to be commanded or demanded. Obviously, like your ability to block as a receiver is hugely important in this program under Brendan Marion and obviously Coach Steve Sarkisian. But I don't know, man. That's where I'm kind of like I have a little bit of it does give me a little bit of pause just trying to sit and consider. Okay, how much do we attribute to the process and the system, and then how much is like really freshman mistakes, like understanding the speed of the game today, trying to roll out and throw it across your body when you've got a DB coming off the edge. Like, you're not going to outrun that guy, not at the Division I college football level. So to me, it's just an understanding. A little bit of timing is also has to be involved, like the internal clock. And
Sure.
clearly, it's just, the game is still just a tad bit too fast, which is why I say, man, an extra month of development now with us winning 8 games, more than qualifying us for a bowl, right? So how much we have a full season sample size now of Steve Sarkisian being able to turn on the film, sit down in a room with Quinn Ewers, knowing that we all can sit here and talk about all day about Steve Sarkisian's ability to put quarterbacks into the NFL. He clearly knows what he's doing in that regard, right? And he's clearly kind of riding or dying right now with Quinn Ewers, for better or worse, through thick and thin. And we've seen the thick get real thick and ask a lot of questions at times as fans, right?
Right.
But sitting down in that room now, he's got a year's worth of film to analyze and figure out, okay, why are we regressing in the passing department? Quinn, what can I help you do better? And Quinn, in the same breath, can also say, Steve, what do I need to be better at, right? And he's mentioned footwork in the past. And we just, as fans, right, we all kind of can see, without having the all 22 film at our disposal, we want to see Quinn Ewers work off that first read, right? Because he's pretty damn good when he's doing that and not throwing it deep perpetually.
Hey,
When
stay
he,
woke. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Go Jayhawks. Absolutely. We need
I
them to
can't
get
wait for
that
that
dub
game tomorrow,
tomorrow.
man. Golly.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
long-winded way of saying, man, I don't know the answer to that question. That's up to Steve and that's up to Quinn to figure it out. But I do have confidence knowing, like, I'm not one of those guys. And this is what I love so much about our group, Steven. There's about 8 different people that we converse amongst ourselves, and we're probably going to have another one jump in here and join us. I think Jay Bass is on his way. But that's why I want people that are listening to understand, we don't all agree on a lot of stuff, right? And that to me is healthy, because we've got perspectives coming at all different angles from
100%.
what we see and what each other sees, right? And so it kind of, not only does it challenge our perspective, it also allows us to see things just from a different angle, right? And so that's how we learn and that's how we grow. But I think I lost you again.
Oh, I can hear you just fine.
Man, my computer is bugging. I don't know what is going
No,
on
you're
here, but I
good.
apologize to everybody right now. Let's go ahead and get that first fan
Yeah.
in here. I don't want to keep taking too much time.
Yeah, no problem. Well, before we get the next fan in here, we actually have our brother here, Mr. Jonathan
Hey,
Tran,
what's up,
who was
Trent?
at the
What's
game.
up,
What's up,
fellas?
Tran?
How you doing? Yeah, sorry I'm late. I just got home.
No, you're good, dude. You were sitting behind enemy lines over there in in the Baylor camp.
Hey, I will say this, and I know it's probably not going to be well received, but Dave Aranda's building a better culture than us over there. Just the way that he was running the sidelines, the way that his assistant coaches were running the sidelines, how engaged everyone, all the way down to the people who weren't going to get into the game, were in the whole game. It was pretty impressive to see
Yeah.
that in basically like 2.5 years roughly. But he's
Mhm.
got that program on track to be really, really good.
Yep. I mean, I think that's a byproduct too of a team that just won the Big 12 last year. So the buy-in is pretty
Yeah.
easy on their behalf, right?
Mhm.
So definitely. But I'm not shocked to hear that.
Tran, I'm glad you're on because I've been holding to talk about why we actually won the game today until you got here. So we've been talking just kind of roundabout and discussing the quarterback situation, which is important because that's what we've been building for and trying to develop with Steve and Quinn Ewers. But the reason we won the game today was number 5
Mm-hmm.
and Roshan's last run. Roshan's brother's in here right now, and Roshan's last run, he scores a touchdown in the most Roshan way ever.
Yeah.
And I just, that moment there, and for those who haven't seen it, where multiple times in the stadium, you guys are chanting Bijan there,
Mhm.
and I thought that was beautiful.
Yeah.
We love him so much. He's given this program so much. I don't know if today was the last game he's played at DKR. It seemed like it.
Yeah, it had that feeling.
It had that feeling. It did. It
Definitely
did.
did.
But talk to me about what you saw from Bijan today and just him willingness to victory. Let's call a spade a spade.
I'm going to go out on a limb. I think that guy's got a future. No, I mean, it wasn't just this week. I mean, it was last week too. He's just carried the load. I mean, if you add up, he's over 400 yards for the past 2 weeks, right? Rushing
Yep.
with 6 touchdowns. Should have had 7. I was
Yep.
really mad that he didn't get that extra one. But
Yeah.
but I mean,
that's so bad for him too.
yeah, I really did. But the fact of the matter is like what he's done is special. I mean,
Mhm.
I think the highest graded offensive lineman that we have is 67, and he's getting consistently over
And run
100.
blocking?
Yeah,
Okay.
it might be a little bit higher in run blocking, but I'm just saying overall blended. But
Okay.
I mean, and he's consistently getting over 120 yards a game. I mean, there was that one game for TCU where they just said, "Hey, let Ewers beat us, and we're just going to send everyone just to try to stop him." And then there was I think the Alabama game where they held him to 50-ish yards or something like that. But other than that, no one's been able to stop him, even with loaded boxes. And he's still like he has the best balance I've ever seen from a Texas running back.
Yeah.
He doesn't
Yeah, the
have
contact balance is crazy.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's amazing. And when
Mhm.
and he absorbs contact, and it doesn't look like it really affects him.
Yeah.
Like which it's and I'm
That
hoping
dude's
that
entire body bent over his neck
yeah.
last year in a game, and he walked
Sat
off
on
the
his
field.
head.
Clearly he's built different, man. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know what else we have to say. The
I mean,
dude's wild.
it's crazy to me that he's not the one that's spoken about every single Doak Walker award.
Yeah.
It's like I know they're talking about the dude from Michigan, Corum, right?
Yeah,
They're
Blake
talking
Corum.
about they're
Yep.
talking about him a lot, but they were in the playoffs last year. This is Bijan has taken this team on his back, and he's
Mhm.
won several games for us by taking it on his back. I mean, I do want to give the defense a lot of credit because if you think about it,
Absolutely.
the defense only gave away 18 points to this team
Yep.
because they had the strip for a touchdown, and then also the safety, which that was 2 bad decisions on Quinn's part, but.
Mhm.
I mean, you hold a Big 12 team to 18 points or under 20 points a game. It should be like this. You should win this game.
For sure.
So, but Bijan, when we went down off of that, I was like, I just kept saying to myself, we have to answer,
Yeah.
and we just kept handing it to him. 6-yard clip, 8-yard clip, 4-yard clip, and it was just it was just a clinic he was putting on,
And that's
jumping
not
over tackles.
that Baylor run stopping defense. Like that's not a bad run stopping unit, man. Like they're the third overall graded run stopping defense in the entire Big 12.
Yeah, I know.
And it didn't matter, right? We beat them in the second half without a quarterback. Like
very, very true.
You know, I mean, at what point do we just marvel and just sit in awe of these guys? Like, it's obviously well documented how talented he is, man. And Roschon deserves his flowers too. He's gonna be one of the more beloved Texas players ever, I think, just for the sacrifice that he made switching from quarterback to running back and just being the leader that he was. But you knew, I knew, Steven knew, everybody in the stadium knew, Baylor knew what Texas was about to do on those, in the second half when they absolutely had to have a drive put together and go get in the end zone. And it didn't matter. Baylor couldn't stop it. There was nothing they could do, right? So hats off to him.
And with Bijan and just what we have left, I'm hoping for me. I'm thinking about him and Roschon when I think about Kansas tomorrow, because I want them to play in a game of significance. I want them to play in a game with real freaking stakes.
Yep.
Like if this is it, I don't want them to go out like you said. I mean, he may still get to New York. Who knows? I mean, there's a lot of people pushing him to New York just because of his brand and what he's done. But it wouldn't be a question had we showed up against TCU offensively. Yeah. It wouldn't be a question if he had a little bit better showing against Alabama in the run game. Now, pass game, he still had 70-some yards in the air and 120 yards combined. But the biggest game that Bijan hasn't had a Sugar Bowl like Sam Ehlinger had.
Right.
He hasn't played in a Big 12 championship like those other guys did.
I mean, his coming out party was the
Alamo Bowl.
Alamo Bowl that we went to, where he just tore apart everything. But I think Roschon played in the Big 12 championship. Don't quote me on that, but I think he played in the first one.
No,
he was a part of it, was he not?
No,
that would have been
Roschon's freshman year was LSU.
That was 2018.
2018.
That's right. Yeah.
Roschon's freshman year was the 8-5 season after the Sugar Bowl. The Sugar Bowl was Keontae Ingram and Trey Watson.
Okay, so he's not a fifth year. My fault.
Yeah. So that's right, because he was a freshman in that LSU game, right? And
yes,
he played running back for like a week.
That was his second game ever playing running back.
Okay. So 7 days, man. That's nuts.
So they haven't played. They have not played in any postseason game of significance. Neither of them.
Yeah.
That's why that's like when I think of the Kansas game tomorrow night. By the way, we need Kansas now. There's no other. Yeah. There's nothing other.
We held up our end.
We did
what we needed. Yeah, we need Kansas.
Right? Yeah. We need Kansas to beat Kansas State in Manhattan tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Everybody tune in and give them all of the energy you can possibly muster up at a freaking Jayhawk. That's what needs to happen, period. But when I think about this, it's for them. It's for Keandre Coburn. It's for these players that are going out, DeMarvion Overshown, those guys. Because I do think if we believe that this program is trending the direction that it under Steve Sarkisian that it is, then my expectation is that Quinn Ewers and all the Kelvin Banks and all these other guys will be playing in games of significance down the road, or else we screwed up bad, right? So we are assuming that they're going to play in games of significance. I'm just saying I want to see those guys ball one more time.
So
in a game that matters.
To quote, I think it was Stephen A. or was what's his name, the SEC guy, the little troll SEC guy.
Feinbaum.
Yeah, Feinbaum. It's like, honestly, if Texas is not in that game, no one's really going to watch it. But if Texas is in that game, it's going to be a very popular game. And I will
These
say,
Paul's honest, yeah.
I will say this. It's a little disturbing that this officiating crew, this same officiating crew that
Oh, don't even get me
refed
started on
the
this.
OK
Yeah.
State game, they've
Going
called
off.
one penalty against our team, and it was a snap count penalty. In 7
Right.
quarters, one penalty against us.
It's a joke. It's a joke at this point, man. There's no other way to say it.
Hey, I
And
got
there
you.
were
Hold
so
on.
many
hold back.
holds.
Do not hold back on this topic, please.
It was we need to send them up there if they want to make sure that Texas, if they want to make sure they get paid on the Big 12, because I saw so many holds on the outside against Texas. Barron
You could find
Sorrell
one on
got
almost every play.
every play.
Yeah.
Grabbing
I'm
the
watching it
jerseys.
too. I tweeted that live. I said it live. When's the last time you seen a Texas opponent get flagged for a holding call? I don't remember when. So somebody can help me out. Fill me in on that.
It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. So we have our first fan of the channel coming on. Somebody hit us up. What's good, Renzo? How you doing, brother?
What's good? How y'all doing?
Doing great,
thank
man.
you. Thank you for joining, man. Thank you for joining.
Happy to be here.
We appreciate everything, and this is, as Nash said, the truly fanatic perspective. So, brother, what's on your mind? Talk to us, man.
I'm happy about the win, man. It couldn't come at a better time. We showed up. We showed some adversity.
Yep.
Played in the second half, made adjustments, and we haven't been able to do that all season. So I was worried. I hurt my back jumping up and down when Quinn Ewers fumbled in the scoop and score. I'm like, my wife looking at me crazy. Yeah. I was hyped.
Dude. But after that, we respond with Bijan Robinson, 9 consecutive carries. After
He's
that,
back in the country.
Yeah.
And credit, you know what? I know people say Sark gets conservative or he takes the football out of his hands and all this type of stuff. To me, it felt like Sark was trying to win the football game, fellas. To me, he said he made an adjustment and said, you know what? I got to get the ball in the hands of my best guy. If I'm going to go down, I'm going to go down with 5. 5 carry me right now.
Yeah. And also, I think a lot had to do it with Cole Hudson getting knocked out too. It's like, hey, we gotta do what Campbell can do best, and that's run forward and
run
push
block
someone out of the way. Yeah, run block.
Damn straight.
So
yeah.
I think that was a good transition right there, because they like what Brandon said in our group text. They were targeting that left side. So I mean,
yeah. That's a good point. That's a good point, Trent. I want to build off that real quick and give Steven credit. He actually predicted right when Cole Hudson got hurt, they brought DJ Campbell in at right guard. He actually predicted Dave Aranda is an asshole and he's going to go right at DJ Campbell. And
smart. I mean, it's not
sure
him being
enough,
an asshole.
Yeah,
it's smart.
Next play, that's exactly what happened, right? That's exactly what happened.
I would do the same exact thing. I would say, hey, stop me. Like, stop.
But in the same breath, I think that's important what you said, Trent. Like, we as fans, we got to understand, okay, that's a credit to Steve Sarkisian, right? Knowing his personnel, do what gives your guy the best chance to succeed. Go let DJ Campbell push people around, man, and it worked, So salute to him, and it's good to see. So that's just more like that's context that we have to consider before bringing up the secondhand Sark narrative, right?
Mm-hmm.
Adjustments were made, and we had success as a result. So
DJ Campbell gave me some nasty today, fellas.
Absolutely.
When he finally, I know some of the stuff was a little post whistle. A little post whistle. I don't mind it. Not everybody's going to be choir boys on the roster, okay?
We need that aggression.
Maurice Blackwell too in that same token.
Maurice Blackwell, who I've been calling this since the spring game. My nickname for him is Game Speed because he only knows how to play one way, and he plays angry. He's not even that big, considering he moved from safety to linebacker. But when he hits a hole, man. He hits a hole like a running back. When you watch Mo Blackwell fill a hole, or when you see him take on contact. We've seen this from Mo Blackwell since he slapped Xavier Worthy in the spring game. Okay? Like, Mo Blackwell's not playing with y'all. And I love it.
He's cracking people, man.
DJ Campbell's not playing with y'all. Now, he may not know all the calls. He may not know who to
Yeah.
block sometimes.
Yeah.
But when he gets his hands on you,
Yep. Good luck. Good luck.
man.
You got to have some of that nastiness,
Is
though.
your back okay? Are you okay now? You
Yeah,
feeling
I'm
better?
good now. Had to stretch it out.
Let me ask you a question. As somebody that follows, that's in this fan base, now that we've come to the end of the season, where are you at just with the overall product? Where are you at with this program? Where are you at with
Yeah.
Steve Sarkisian at this point in time?
I always say that, if you're trying to build a program, it's going to take 4 years, right? You get a recruiting class, you build them up, you develop them, you get them out the door. And at the end of the 4 years, if we haven't grown, which we already have from year 1 to year 2, if we haven't grown by year 4, right, winning conference championships, trying to get a playoff spot, then we have to move on.
Right. So can I ask you a question, like a follow up to that, just to consider here? Because I agree with you, but how much does the transfer portal change that thought process in your mind?
It changes it a lot.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll be losing a lot of players, right? I've seen
Right.
the rumors out there of Xavier Worthy maybe looking to go to USC. I don't know if you guys seen that.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it changed it a lot. So you got to give Steve Sarkisian some time to build his brand. So
For sure, I agree.
and we've had the issue of consistency in the coaching, right? We haven't had that consistency and that mainstay, and now we got that. We need to ride and we need to stick with it.
The continuity of the coaching staff and the players is exactly. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I just know, like, sometimes fans, the transfer portal and the NIL stuff has brought a level of an added level of impatience, I would say, in terms of, oh, well, there's really no excuse now because you don't have to develop guys anymore. You can just go get them from the transfer portal and plug holes. But it's multifaceted, obviously, right? So
yeah,
that's all I was asking. I definitely agree with you, though. So we'll see. But as of right now, it's hard to say that things are not trending in the right direction, right? I mean,
oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Considering where we came from a year ago at 5-7, looking at, as of today, the day after Thanksgiving, Friday, there's still a chance this team wins 10 games this year.
That's right. We got to be cheering for Kansas.
That's it. That's in the realm of possibility, so.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to build on it too. I mean,
for sure.
Tom Herman won 10 games his second year.
Yep.
And we were in the Sugar Bowl. We were trending as well as we could. And I'm sorry, I'm having some difficulties getting the other fan on, but it's tough when you have to sustain things and you have to take advantages of opportunities that present themselves in season. And so while we look at certain win totals and where we want to be and how we're planning, and yes, it's good to have a plan, college football, very rarely do things go as planned. And so when, TCU, if we're going off of planning, TCU was supposed to be the 7th best team in the conference. And they're looking at the playoffs because they took advantage of certain opportunities. So I think it's important that while we are building and we are going to plan, and we're not, again, this isn't failure. Like, we are on track with how Steve is planning this. I agree with that. The recruiting shows that, by the way.
Yes, absolutely.
But damn it, if you get opportunities and your season starts and there's certain opponents that aren't as good as you suspected them to be, or you have kids on your team that are performing ahead of schedule, then you have to seize those things, because all of us in here, we are old enough to remember the expectations we had going into 2019 off of that Sugar Bowl victory. And all the experience we had coming back with a top 3 recruiting class. And they went 8-5.
Yeah.
And the next thing, and then the coach had one more year. And granted, there's a whole bunch of factors. He wasn't just fired because of his win-loss record. But what we have to understand is, you as a staff, as an organization, as a team, what I'm excited about is today I felt like Steve Sarkisian actually was able to match wits with Dave Aranda and level up my team coaching wise. Whereas some of these games I felt like we're at a disadvantage coaching. Today I actually felt good from what I saw with Steve. And especially how he handled the second half. I felt like as a team, we got stronger, PK included, this defense. We haven't even talked about the defense yet. They got stronger as the game went on. Baylor at halftime had run 45 plays, had 22 minutes, right, of time of possession. I think it was 21 minutes, 22 minutes time of possession. And they finished the game with 75 plays, and our defense finished not gassed, but guys are flying around. Not gassed, but now we're sending the A-gap heater with Overshown, right? and dudes are trying to get their stats up. We're getting stronger as the game goes on. So that's what I'm encouraged by.
Yep. You can win a championship with this defense moving forward. I firmly believe
Absolutely.
that.
All right, we got Cameron coming in. Let's get Cameron in here. Cameron Parker, what's up, man?
Killer Cam. Guys.
Killer Cam, what's up, baby?
What's going on, man?
What's up, guys? How y'all doing?
Doing well,
good, man.
Bro. It's good to see you. Good to see you.
What's
on your mind?
I'm doing it from the phone. I'm at the house. I got the kids everywhere, and the wife's working, so forgive me.
Salute to you, man. No worries.
Yeah.
Make it work however you can.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you just
flexing on them, boy.
Look good out there today, boys.
Yeah.
I don't really. Steve's decision at times really kind of scare me. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Especially like the flow of the game that he has. Like, I feel like at times he takes the ball out of Bijan's or Roshan's hand when he sees that Quinn's struggling. Like, granted, second half, I like the adjustment. That's one thing I've been kind of harping on because his adjustments have been very lackluster, not very impressed with it. But I saw the change in the second half. But I feel like his flow, like when he calls plays, the flow, his play calling kind of can miss me sometimes. I'm just like, instead of getting the ball into space, he kind of tries to throw the ball way too far downfield for me when it comes to X. I mean, if you saw X today, he was actually finishing his runs. When he ran over the corner on that play, I was like, that's the X I've been waiting for all year. I don't know. I've seen a lot of like kind of red flags for me. I mean, granted, it's development. You're building a team. I get it. But this was a 5-7 team last year. That was not a 5-7 team, is my point. We weren't a 5-7 team.
I agree with that. Thank you.
7-3 the year before, and he could have had not a playoff team, but a conference championship team the year before. I don't know, man. I like Sark. His decision making kind of scares me, though.
It's fair. To me, Cam, that's fair. I do think, though, what we're looking to see is what we saw today in terms of making that adjustment, in terms of getting the ball in the right people's hands and letting them win the game for you. The other thing we have to look at, too, is we have a lot of playmakers on this team, I feel like, but are you able to get them into the flow of the game, right? Are you able to get Jatavian Sanders going? Like, early on, I thought Jatavian was going to have a crazy, crazy game, and I thought he had a good day. I know some people there's a lot of conversation about the ball down the seam, if it was on Quinn or if it was on Jatavian. I think if you're a good football team, by the way, it's on both. I think if you're in the quarterback room, you say, I can make a better throw. And if you're in Jatavian's room, you say, I should catch that. It's on both. I'm tired of, the split blame. Also, going back to Landon's point about body language and blame game and Quinn getting on offensive linemen. Keep the same energy when you talk about him not having emotions.
Keep
the same energy when you talk about him being, straight faced. Does he care? Is he only in it for the money? Blah, blah, blah. Obviously, the kid gives a shit. Obviously, he wants to win. He got on Campbell, he got on Jake Majors. The pre-snap penalties were ridiculous.
Yeah.
And as a former quarterback, bro, y'all cannot go false start 6-7 times. We work on this stuff too much.
Yeah. What y'all think Tom Brady's doing if that happens to his offensive line?
Oh, he's killing it. He's killing it.
Yeah. Quint Kesnick was talking as if that was some crazy thing that Quinn had a reaction to it. We as fans, we like seeing that out of him. That's what he doesn't understand. I'm sitting here like, dude, read the room, man. You clearly, you've got this platform that you're speaking on, and you're misleading millions of people who are watching this football game who clearly don't understand, and neither do you, what you're talking about. We as fans, we love to see that fire. And as an athlete myself, hey, at times in the dugout, in the clubhouse, on the field, wherever, in the practice room, film room, dude, shit gets chippy, man. That's what happens when you got a bunch of alpha males out there that are trying to all compete towards the same common goal, right? With their blood and their family on the line. These dudes are trying to make a career for themselves that's going to feed and take care of their families for the rest of their lives, so it's personal. But Quint Kesnick acting like Quinn Ewers can't have a reaction because he's a freshman and he's showing he's showing this, in his mind, bad body language. It's just crazy talk to me, man. So yeah, miss me with that. Anyway. Next.
Tran, Renzo, you guys want to add anything to that? Because it was infuriating me, that whole discussion.
From where I didn't see anything.
You were at Tran, you were at the game.
Yeah.
They were blowing him up on the broadcast about yelling at the linemen after they kept going on a false start, throughout the broadcast.
That's a
talking
good
about.
That's what.
To tell you the truth, I'm surprised that the other linemen weren't yelling at the guy who took the false start. That's the accountability that you need to have for a unit to make sure that you're successful and disciplined throughout the whole time. The fact of the matter is that he hasn't shown any emotions from that. So to see that, it shows me that he's starting to step up as a leader. I disagree with anyone who says that he doesn't care about doing well, because from what I've heard is that when he signed with Texas, is that all he wants to do is he wants to play football, and from my understanding was hunt was the second thing that he wants to do. So if he's doing those two things, I think he's going to be good. So
yeah. Yep.
And you have to have that in a quarterback. You have to have that strong leadership. So
For sure. And that was a question mark for Quinn, right? That's kind of what fans have been wanting to see. And then we finally see it, and we've got some dude from an outside perspective talking about a team that he clearly doesn't know much about, right? And so that was the issue that I had with the whole deal. And so it was more than one occasion. So whatever.
So I want to hit on a few things, and then I got to do some sponsor ads. But I see some people saying, well, Quinn has played poorly. Quinn gave up points. No, he's yelling at other people when they make mistakes. And Renzo, you just hit the nail on the head. He's the quarterback.
Yeah.
Football culture is different, y'all. It's not like basketball or any other sport. The quarterback is the general it is what it is. Yes, you can check the quarterback on the sideline. Coaches there's already more pressure on him than people aren't turning up on the right guard the way they're turning up on Quinn Ewers for every single decision. It just is what it is. It comes with the job. It comes with the territory. Yeah. But at the end of the day, what you want is at some point, and I've said this over so many videos, you want your quarterback to take ownership of the offense. Yes, he cannot fumble a football and it go for a touchdown. No one is excusing that. And we blew him up earlier about it. And he deserves to get blamed. But at the same token, I need to see him give a shit. I need to see him get in somebody's ass when we feel like we have a good play call. We have an advantage right now, and we're jumping before we even get a chance to run and execute the play. Those are two different things. So that's all. That's all I'm saying. Ken, you want to add to that?
Yeah, that's the first time I read his fire, because I kind questioned, but like his drive at times, just because of the way he's so like shrugs everything off. You know, you don't really see that like, come on. But this is the first time that I've had of him and like, come on, like, you know, like we're driving, get it together. What are you doing with you're setting us back in essence. That's the first time I'm like, wow. At the same time, you know, happy feet at times. I like Quinn. I just don't know what I thought he was. Granted, he's a freshman, but you saw a freshman Iowa State, Duggar or whatever. No, not what's the freshman? Forgot his name. But you saw him come in, and he was taking command of the offense. I don't really see that from Quinn. He was moving the offense. I see good from Quinn, but I've seen a lot more bad than I have good from Quinn, and that's back. You know, I played some college sports. I've seen freshman quarterbacks come in and do amazing things, and then I've seen some quarterbacks that lose confidence, never be the same. They're not the same player. It never comes back to them, a la Ben Simmons. If things don't change,
well, I can't go there. I can't go there.
Obviously, that's drastic.
I can't go there.
But obviously, that's drastic. But it's just if you lose confidence, it can make or break your sports. I played corner in college. If I get down, that'll ruin my entire back. If you get down at quarterback, it affects the whole team.
Yeah,
like
right.
Quinn, I like what he's doing, and I like his. I like to see that out of him.
Hey, Cam, we're having a little bit of audio issues on here, but while I'm gonna just put you on the sidelines just for a second, and I'm gonna read this ad because we got Last Stand hats in the building. This hat, by the way, Danny Morris, thank you. Hat, Last Stand hats. Landon is part of the Last Stand hats family. Tran. We got Renzo in there rocking the all gas, no brakes joint. Y'all know what it is. Our Last Stand hats family. Landon and I are very, very thankful. So, just show us some love there. There's my link. Lando has his link on his channel, on his social media platform. So us as content creators, if you want to help support us in a good, positive way and help build Landon's platform, my platform, use the links below. 10% off at checkout. Great merch, polos, tees. Brock Cunningham has got an NIL deal there. We got all of us are rocking.
I didn't even see that. That's sick.
Yeah, Brock's being taken care of over there. You know,
let's go.
It's really, really dope. I want to talk defense.
Let's do it.
We have blown up.
Can we start off with Jalen Ford?
Yes.
Oh my God. Yes, please.
Jesus.
Please.
First of all, no, like just the way he plays the ball and his motor and his instincts for the ball. But secondly, can you remember a linebacker that isn't a liability in coverage on him and who just makes plays in coverage? Can you name who was the last linebacker that does what he does in coverage?
Derek Johnson.
Yeah, I think you got to go back.
You got to go all the way back to DJ.
Derek Johnson
in coverage, and what's crazy, Jalen was almost a liability in coverage at the beginning of this season. The growth that he's had in 12 games.
Number one tackle in week 1.
Number one, credit to Jalen Ford himself for being a freaking professional and a dog and a football junkie to get better and improve his game week over week. Number one, Jalen Ford. Number 2, Jeff Choate, Pete Kwiatkowski.
Yeah.
Great job developing these young men. Great job developing this young man and putting him in position. The pick he made today, and Robert Griffin showed that dagger route concept, right? Where you have the deep over and you have that dig route coming in. and you have the wheel essentially going the sideline over there, and Jalen's looking at the wheel, and he tricks Blake Shapen and takes the dig and gets a pick. That's high level football from your linebacker. On top of being a sideline to sideline dog. On top of, hey, Jalen Ford apparently has the best hands on defense.
Clearly, yeah. I seen Homer said something about that in the chat too when it was happening. Yeah.
Jalen Ford ain't dropping picks.
Have like 12 picks. 13.
That was 6. Johnny Barron had 6, man. And he dropped it.
So I was sitting next to his family.
Yeah, back to
I was sitting next to his family when they dropped it. Oh my God, they let him have it.
Did they?
When he dropped it, yes, they let him have it.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Johnny Barron was a former Baylor commit, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, his brother was telling me, which something that we get knocked on a lot is our development. He said his brother told me throughout all high school he was a running back. It's like he never played defense. For the fact of him 3 years in the program, and he's honestly our best defensive back with instincts, ball instincts on the team. It's a credit to our staff, and of course him, putting forth the work and everything like that. But our staff developing him.
The scoop 6 aside, he single-handedly wrecked multiple plays in that TCU game as well. I said that was his best game as a Longhorn to date. Regardless, with or without the scoop 6 at the end of the game, like that dude, he was all over the field. He was blowing up blocks and making tackles for loss, just like you said, playing with instincts, playing fast, and flying to the football. He's a phenomenal football player, and I think it's only going to continue to get better for him. So that dude's special.
So moving across the defense too, fellas. I feel as though the interior defensive line big strides forward this season. Yet another game where we are able, and today was a challenge for them, right? Because it wasn't going to be gap runs downhill where it is a strength of theirs. It was a lot of wide zone concepts, right? Having to get off of stuff, moving laterally. And while Baylor, I felt like did a really good job of getting dirty yards, and Baylor, especially in the first half, was able to convert get 3 yards, get 4 yards. Over the course of the game, my big boys did not waver.
No.
My big boys adapted. Alfred Collins adapted. T. Sweat adapted. Byron Murphy, poor Byron Murphy, poor Byron Murphy getting held left and right. You see every snap.
Same thing with Sorrell.
His shoulder pads are coming out of his jersey. I wonder how that...
I'd
Rizzo,
love to
I
see.
You gotta look on it. Rizzo, were you seeing that too?
Every play, and they weren't throwing a single flag.
That's what was infuriating to me.
Hey, if Nash is still in here, can we get Nash to do every play that Texas Longhorns were getting held but not called, and make and dedicate an entire YouTube video to that alone? I just want to see how many holding calls he can find that weren't actually called on the field. Nash, let's do it, bro. I'll help you out.
Byron Murphy was like, and God bless him. He just kept lining up. God bless, T. Sweat, Coburn, all of our big boys. I mean, it's harder to notice on guys like Coburn because they're so big.
You could see that they were getting frustrated because even Coburn, the way he is, he had one play where he just after the whistle, I thought we were going to get flagged. I think we sacked the quarterback, but after the whistle, he continued to play and just manhandled the dude and threw him to the ground. And I was like, oh, please don't throw the flag.
Nash is going to need donations for these requests.
Hey, I tell him, I help him out. I'll send him a tip.
By the way, speaking of donations, quick shout out to BUSR, BUSR.com/fanatic. Texas Longhorns covered today, people. They covered.
Amen.
Texas -10. So if you're looking for a reliable betting partner, now that you're feeling good as Texas fans the rest of the weekend, if you want to bet reliably, responsibly, do it on BUSR.com/fanatic. Promo code SPORTS100FP. You can see here on our graphic right now, up to $2,500 we're matching on all free play. 10-time rollover promo right now. But guys,
Hey,
Hey,
we should do a Jordan pick of the week because I mean yesterday he was on a heater. He made me some money yesterday.
Jordan's pick. You got Jordan picking games.
He picked the 3-game parlay. He even did it with the spread. He did.
Well, he went Bills, Cowboys, Vikings.
Yeah, with the spread too. No, actually, he went Detroit. Who did we play? I can't think of who we played.
It was Bills and Lions, Cowboys and Giants, and then Vikings.
So he picked the spread on the Cowboys game. So he picked Giants to cover the 10 points, which they did the last 12 seconds. He picked Detroit to cover, and then he picked outright Minnesota. But not only that, he did the props. He did first for Minnesota. He did first drive. The only thing he missed on was Dalvin Cook being the first touchdown score. But he did first drive. Yeah, I was like, Jesus, Jordan. so I'm gonna let it ride next on Sunday.
So I see. I'm just looking at some of the comments here. I do think T Sweat could be in play to come back, David Williams, and I see Nash or I'm sorry, Lando addressing that because we do need to get to who's here and who's not, right? Whether or not things happen for the Big 12 championship game. Jalen Ford, please, we will find the money. Whatever we need, my brother in Christ. Whatever we need, we will find the money. We will do what it takes. Please, give us one more year.
But the question is, after having a year like this, do you stick around for another year? Because if he doesn't get the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year, I mean, it's rigged.
Okay, so in my opinion, he is the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year. I have not seen another. I watched this conference, and there's some really damn good defensive players in this conference. There's some good football players, and this is another. I'm gonna go on a quick tangent. This is another reason why I'm frustrated about even being 8-4, y'all. Because you can make the argument Texas can have the Offensive Player of the Year and the Defensive Player of the Year in Bijan and Jalen Ford. We can make that argument.
Yeah.
And that very well may be voted and happen. And it'd be a shame if we end the season with the Offensive Player of the Year and the Defensive Player of the Year, and we don't even make it to the championship game. To me, that's a bad look. However, that being said, in terms of Jalen Ford, he deserves the award, to Renzo's point. Now, Renzo, I can answer this question one of two ways, my brother. As a Texas fan and as an objective person in the football community. As an objective person in the football community, I would advise Jalen Ford to wait for his draft advisory grade and then make a decision.
Yep.
Wait for the grade, then make a decision. Linebacker, like running back, is you don't have as many snaps as some of the other positions in your body. You just don't. And the quicker you can get, I know people in the NFL now, and my wife actually works with the guy who's the center on the Detroit Lions. I forget his name right now, but my wife works with his wife. One of the things,
is it Ragnow?
Not Ragnow. It's the guy that played for SMU. The guy that played for SMU.
I'll find it.
Okay. And one of the things that Ragnow, or not Ragnow, you got me thrown off, but he played for SMU. I think his last name was Brown or something like that. But his wife works with my wife, and
cool.
One of the things she mentioned was
Evan Brown. Evan Brown is Ragnow.
Evan Brown. Thank you. Thank you. She shared, Evan Brown's been in the NFL, I believe, 5 years. And one of the things she brought up was getting pension. And I believe you get it after 3 years. And the benefits that come with that. This isn't just a 1 year, I'm gonna come back to college, cool. Like, this is also how quickly can I get to where I guarantee myself pension?
Right.
Long term.
Yeah.
Because
so it's 3 years. in the
I think
NFL,
it's
is that
3
what you're
years, if I'm not
Wow.
mistaken. Somebody correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I believe and to qualify for NFL pension, you need to play at least 3 years in the league.
saying? Okay.
So, and then for running backs, linebackers, the quicker you can get to your second contract, the quicker you're securing your financial future.
Yeah,
Now,
absolutely.
if you feel as though you can come back to school and increase your stock, and you're like, oh, I'm getting a 4th round grade, and I feel like I'm a first or second round pick, then by all means, please come back. We'd love
Yeah.
that. But that's a decision. I'm speaking again from my side as objective football guy in the community. As a Texas fan, I'm saying I need you.
Yeah.
Like point
Yeah.
blank, right?
Right.
Like this is a light position. This is an area where we need a lot of help. We need you. I think you would look great handing the baton to Anthony Hill whenever he decides to make his commitment. And the dogs we have in that linebacker class, Samaje Burrell, right? Leona Leifau,
Yep.
Gillette,
They're just too young right now, though.
Hopefully
They would
Anthony
shore it
Hill.
up. Yeah.
Hopefully Anthony Hill.
Yeah, that's the hope.
But
okay, I'm hearing.
I'm seeing different answers too on here.
People
but
are
yeah,
giving me different. I'm pretty sure.
Either way, the
I
point
thought
is
it
well
was 3
taken on
years.
your part, Stephen. I agree with you. That's a good point. The fastest route to getting that pension, man, that matters. I know in Major League Baseball it's 10, which is obviously a much different sport for physicality. But yeah, that's a great point. At a position that's very oft injured, maybe second only to the running back spot, linebackers got to get taken care of long term. So that's ultimate importance here for Jalen Ford.
Do you guys agree with me about defensive player of the year?
Yes.
I can't think of anyone who's outperformed him on a weekly
not at all.
basis.
He has Nino tweeted the stat line. It's like 100 plus tackles, 4 interceptions, 4 tackles for loss, 2 forced fumbles, and 2 fumble recoveries. There ain't a player in the Big 12 that stacks up with that. Like he's filling the stat sheet. Right? So
Texas this week, I mean, really starting now, University of Texas media team, please start pumping out Jalen Ford propaganda.
Yeah.
Let's get him. In all seriously, let's get him a DPO.
Shit, man.
Yeah.
I would post a Jalen Ford graphic twice a day until the votes come in.
Yeah. Yep.
We need to push all the Jalen Ford propaganda as we possibly can.
Push that narrative. Hey, we can all work together collectively as a content creating group and even just as a fan base in general on Twitter, man. Twitter's a powerful machine. So, hey, we can make it happen ourselves too, man. Let's do it.
Agree. I mean, game-changing plays, the improvement, the consistency that he found this season. And, I mean, every week, it got to a point where you're counting on 41 to make a play. So, no, can't be more excited about that. Who else? I do have Jahdae Barron. I have Jahdae Barron as first team Big 12 for defense. What say you guys? Even with his brick hands.
Hey, like I said, man, you don't got to convince me. I'm number one on the Jahdae Barron fan club as far as I'm concerned, right? So I would have to obviously do a little bit more research and digging and just kind of like looking around the entire landscape of the Big 12. But I can't imagine how he's not at least second team Big 12 honors. So
yeah, minimum.
Yeah.
I mean, this should have been his 3rd week in a row to have a defensive touchdown. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, he plays the run well. He plays physical. He keeps contained. He drops well in coverage. He has, I feel, the best ball instincts, which if you asked me at the beginning of the season, it would have been Deshaun Jameson. But no, he's shown to me to be our most well-rounded defensive back. I mean, I said this earlier in the call.
Trent, how many snaps was Jameson out there for today? I only noticed he was targeted one time.
Yeah,
Like,
he was targeted one time, and it was that deep ball that they underthrew. But he was right there with him. I still think if he threw it properly and put it in front of him, it would have been a catch, but it would have been an instant tackle.
Yeah.
So,
But did Brooks get the start again today though? I missed that.
Terrence Brooks was playing
he
a
started.
lot today.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
that's what I thought. Got you.
Thank you, Mike Osnell. Answering Michael Williams' question.
Yeah, I was wondering that too. That's important to consider here for sure.
And we're also a month away from the first signing day as well. So that's also
isn't it only a couple weeks away?
It's coming up, man. Yeah.
I thought it was December 21st. I thought it was the official date for signing day. I could be wrong on that.
I mean, I don't know what it is.
Somebody Google that. Somebody Google that real quick. That's why. See, if I don't have an exact date, I just say like a month.
Gotcha.
Just to be careful, because I know
Steve,
somebody will come back.
One last thing, and
you got a few minutes left, Landon. Go ahead.
I just wanted to get your thoughts on Terrence Brooks and our defensive back finally playing a ball in the air on that deep shot. I know you were going crazy when that happened.
Yeah. So Terrence Brooks, well done on the deep post. He stayed connected. Number one, located the football really well. It was a little underthrown. And he did the right thing in terms of knocking the ball away, dislodging it away, knowing he couldn't get his hands all the way on it, but he dislodged it. Where I challenge everybody else in the room, and I'm gonna keep being a pest about this, is I need other brothers to be athletes.
Yeah.
Bug, Jaron Thompson, for those who don't know, they call him Bug. Bug, the ball hits you in the hands, bro. Catch it. Yeah. Like, he batted it right to you. Catch it. Janae Barron, the ball's hitting you in the hands. You're jumping around. Catch it.
Yep.
Hit the jump machine. Do whatever y'all got to do. Be athlete. Y'all over here talking about, I used to return kicks in high school. I used to play both ways in high school. And then you
show me something, man.
And then you can't catch a ball to save your life. We should have twice as many interceptions as we do on the season. No joke. Right. From the whole group. It's not one person.
Yeah.
But
Cowboys fans know all too well about Anthony Brown not being able to play the ball in the air too, which was on full display last night on Thanksgiving Day. But that's another topic. So, yeah, well, it's frustrating at times. I know it's a difficult thing to do, but it can be done and it should be done. So I'm just hoping to continue to see development there. But it was cool to see it today from a freshman, Terrence Brooks. So I knew you were excited about that when you saw it.
Yeah. I mean, and Brooks, it's going to be, he's still, even next year, he's going to have growing pains.
Yeah.
Even next season, but he's super talented. We were so fortunate that he flipped his commitment from Ohio State, where we all thought he was going to end up. So, we have two corners out there that are, supposed to be Buckeyes.
And a quarterback too.
And we're thankful for that. And I think the future is very bright. Ryan Watts, no question, needs to be back here with us next year and continue his development at boundary
run signing in the portal for Ryan Watts. He's been a phenomenal addition this year to our defense.
Mm-hmm.
Big time.
Absolutely.
Big time.
So and I will say this. We complained so much about the lack of sacks last year, right? They picked that up. They, now it was more of a group effort. I think Sorrell's going to end up leading us for the regular season with like 6, but it's better than 2. It's better than 2.5 or whatever from a backup. But the group across the board, the pressure they generated, the disruption they generated, which leads to those interception opportunities, that's something where I would challenge the group next year, 2023. Hey, we're a good enough group to be getting, an interception or 2 every single week. And we should be getting pick 6s. Like, that's one thing I will say, like the Nathan Bashers of the world, the jammers, dog. When the ball, like, the only person that couldn't catch was Rob B. Everybody else had mitts back there. Yeah. Let's not play. Y'all correct? Am I tripping?
No, you're right.
Outside of
I don't
Rob
think
B,
so.
everybody else had mitts. So,
Yep.
I mean,
Hey man, we stopped getting held. Our sack numbers might triple next year too. So we'll see about that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
tackle for
I'm
losses
only
will
half
go up.
joking
Will
about
shoot
that.
up.
Landon, thanks for joining, brother. I'm
Hey,
going
man.
to find where J Bass is real quick.
Yeah,
Welcome.
he's
Y'all
lurking out
subscribe
there
to
somewhere.
the Lando Show. He's got so much stuff going on. Any last second plugs you need to do, my friend?
Nah, no plugs at all. It's the Lando Show on all socials. But I just want to say thanks again for y'all for having me. This was fun. I just got home from vacation today. Enjoyed a Thanksgiving breakdown with meet my new nephew. So that was awesome. But Renzo, it was cool to meet you as well, man, and converse.
You too, brother.
I appreciate you hopping in, and to everybody else in the chat box, thank you guys. Hook 'em, and then I guess tomorrow rock chalk, right? So
Yeah, rock chalk Jayhawk.
let's go.
Take it easy, Landon.
Yes, sir. See you guys.
Yeah, be easy, brother. Renzo, what else is on your mind, man, while we're on here chatting? We still got 265 in here. Everybody's excited. Homer said, if I was out there, have like 45 receptions. Put me in the game, coach. Put me in the game. No, thank you, Ohio State. We definitely nabbed them.
No. None of this. Thank you, Ohio State. They've been stealing all of our Texas players.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Yeah, for
they're the
years.
University of Texas, Ohio. That's what they are. Like,
Yeah.
That's all they have. We just got them back. They rented them.
KU game. The rest of this time.
7?
Yeah, 7 tomorrow.
Yeah.
7 tomorrow.
Weird things happen at night.
Man, we I give a lot of credit to kicking game. We didn't talk too much about this the last few weeks, but I think over the course of the season, we were, Trejo was solid. It wasn't anything great or, nothing crazy. But Trejo holding it down in the kick game, Burt developing, having those growing pains with Burt, but the kick coverage units and the special team units for Texas, led by Jeff Banks, I just want to give them, a tip of the cap and a nod.
Yeah, absolutely.
That unit has been one of the best in the country, in my opinion.
It's very rare that we because our kickoff specialist he does this little knuckleball where it goes right to the goal line, but it has the hang time enough where our athletes can get down there, and it's very rare we give up field position. So it's usually behind the 25, and I think that's why we do it to try to turn the ball over, and they know that we cover well. So, and we've been very, very strong at that all year long. I haven't seen really much. I think maybe one or two times people have busted it past the 25, but it hasn't been anything terrible.
Most consistent, I would agree with that. That running back.
We have the best running back room in the country.
Yeah. And we're going to see that next season. I know we talk about this often in our group. That's why Tran's laughing. But y'all, we saw a preview last week. Let's not act like we didn't see.
Yes.
We didn't roll Jonathan Brooks out the garage.
Yeah.
Just to let some folks know one time.
Just to make sure that the battery's running. Yes.
Yeah. We rolled Jonathan Brooks out the garage last week. And the thing, too, is that Jonathan Brooks, going into next year, he will put on, and this is why I really trust this staff.
15 pounds.
The strength and conditioning, not even 15 pounds. It's just more so converting maybe 5 or 10 pounds, but converting that to a little bit extra muscle. Because it's in conjunction with, you have, in my opinion, I'll put it this way. I think the best running back in terms of athlete in the country in high school is Reuben Owens. However, Reuben Owens is like half receiver, half running back, kind of. Like, Reuben Owens can play a whole bunch of different positions. I think the best natural running back is, in my opinion, Cedric Baxter Jr. coming out of Florida. You are adding a dynamite kid who at the time of us getting his commitment, he then went on to just completely just have an amazing year this year in high school. So you're adding Cedric Baxter Jr. to the room. You have Jaden Blue in the room, who would have been the number one back in his class had he played his senior year of high school.
Yeah.
And he's also developing his body. There's a lot of juice back there.
Yes.
And so while we will mourn the loss of Bijan, and it's not just losing Bijan from a standpoint and Roshan, both of them. It's also their leadership and I think that's more of where we'll miss those guys is the things behind the scenes versus actual production from the room, if that makes sense. Yeah. Because I just look at this too as, unfortunately for Bijan and Roshan, Brooks, Baxter, Blue, say Keelan Robinson comes back, they're running behind a better offensive line next year. Yeah. Period.
A grown-up.
I'm running now behind Cam Williams, DJ Campbell, year 2 Kelvin Banks.
Yep.
Right, like, that's a different group than what these guys have had to run through and break all these tackles. So the future is very, very bright for, it's not to take anything away from Bijan or Roshan or anybody like that. I just think that that's the one position where we can sleep comfortably at night for now.
Brooks reminds me of Jamal Charles, man. He's a one cut and go type of guy.
Me too.
You made that same comparison. To me, he reminds me of Deontay, just because from his size and his durability. Like I think.
I don't see it. I don't see that with Brooks.
I just see him as like I've seen him multiple times get hit, and it just tacklers bounce right off of him. Like the Jamal Charles thing is like Jamal Charles is elite speed, like elite speed.
But they run the same way. Yeah. They're striders.
Yeah.
I see where you're going with that.
Jamal, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I think Jamal come out of high school was like, what, 10.5, 10.4?
Yeah, ridiculous.
Yeah. Crazy fast. Crazy fast.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Nash, I agree. Tony Pollard Tony Pollard has that same type of burst. Like, to me, their power, and to even what Tran just said, some of the ability to bounce off of people is because they're able to generate that short area power, that short area speed, which then turns into power and you kind of run through people. Kind of like in the comic books when the Flash runs around a whole bunch, he can knock somebody out just by hitting them because he's running so fast. But Brooks, for me, it's his vision. When he plants and he sees a hole and he can cut and he gets through the hole and there's no deceleration.
No.
With his running. I think people are going to be really, really pleased. The only reason why he's not more highly touted is because of where he went to high school. That's the only thing.
What, 2A? Oh, he's a 2A athlete, so he's not good.
I hate that. But every time he's been in the game, you see it. You see it without question.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think he'll run for 1,000 yards next season.
Somebody said Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook's definitely those type of runners. And again, Dalvin Cook plays Minnesota Vikings right now, outside zone stretch type scheme. Guys that are looking for one little hole, cut, get upfield. Dalvin Cook was insane at Florida State, by the way.
We were his number 2. It's bothers me.
And he's Dalvin Cook. Speaking of Dalvin Cook, he's out here. He's the one trying to sway.
Yeah.
Cedric Baxter,
which I think they are like
for
too.
Florida State. It looks like he gets to rehearse the runs 100 times before it actually happens. Let's see, Brooks was 199 as a freshman, 202 this year as a sophomore. Yeah, Baxter's not coming here to sit. Let's make that. He is not coming, and nor should he, right? Like Bijan Robinson came in because they're the same at this point in time as a recruit. They're at that same type of level. We expected production from Bijan pretty early.
I think he had something like 500 yards his freshman year, right?
I think it was 700.
Was it really? Because I know he was because we had two running backs injured. Keontae got injured towards the end of the year, and he started taking the majority of the snaps. So it might have been 700.
In terms of anything else you guys wanted to add about today's game, or any other takeaways before we do our parting shots and wrap up here?
Go ahead, Renzo. I'll let you
go. I appreciate you guys having me on, man. It's been fun.
It has, man.
Jumping on.
Thanks for jumping on. Thanks for supporting the channel. Greatly appreciate it. Guys, hit that like button. I know we had, thank you to Cameron. I was trying to get Holbrook on here. We'll get it figured out with everything. It's our first time doing this. What I'll do is I'll tell everybody well in advance so we can try to plan it even better. But you guys have just been so kind in supporting us, and we want to make this channel interactive, even if it's something to where y'all want to call in, and we have a link, and you can join the link, and at least even if you don't want to be on camera, we can let you talk and do little old school sports talk radio post game type stuff. That's kind of the vision I have. But very, very grateful for that. And Renzo, thank you for being part of the community, man. It means a lot.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate it.
Tran, what about you, man? Coming out of today, senior day, very emotional day to be in.
And that's the thing I wanted to touch on. Is like the one game I try to make every single year, no matter what, is senior day. And it's cool to see. It's cool. I got to see my brother run out. I got to see my brother run out a long time ago, and ever since then, it was just something that resonated with me. That you see the parents, you see the people who have been there, these young athletes support system for so long, to see them get their, they're not necessarily getting their T ring, but it's their senior day, and it's their last, most likely their last college game, and the fact that they all did it together. Technically, it's just something that's really nice, and to celebrate these athletes after all they've given this university, it's something that's really special, I think. So senior day was it was successful, which is number one, the best thing. Another thing, you got to see a whole bunch of kids celebrate, enjoy the day, because they haven't had so much success throughout their years here at Texas, and now they're hopefully a Kansas upset away from playing in the Big 12 championship. So.
Well said, Tran. I want to give this team credit for finishing back-to-back victories, winning their last two games of the season, and trying to establish some consistency despite the adversity that's been faced, whether it's injury, whether it's off the field stuff, pressure, rumors, all of that. We've been pressing on them, win the game. That's the point. That's why we're here. That's the most important thing. It's win the game. And they did that. They won 2 straight. They won their last 2 road games. And, we can talk about whether or not they even deserve an opportunity to be in the Big 12 championship game, but that's up to what happens tomorrow night. And, Texas, if they do make it, will be the first 3-loss conference team potentially to be in the Big 12 championship game. And I think that if they do get that opportunity to go to Arlington, I think they very well could beat TCU in a rematch. I feel that strongly about what this team has, and I think they can really screw up the college football playoffs. I think Texas can do all that. I think Texas is more equipped to derail TCU than Kansas State is, in my opinion. But we have to earn the right. Kansas
They have
needs
to
do it
lose
for
the
us.
right.
They have to lose the right.
Yeah, they
There
have
you
to
go.
lose the right.
There you go.
Yeah.
They have to lose
We-
the right to do that.
We had
You
our
see-
shot to earn it.
Thank you.
Let's not
Thank
fake
you.
that.
Thank
Yeah,
you. Thank you.
we had that.
You're right. You're right. I was wrong. You're right, Tran. I completely screwed that up. I was over here talking my shit like we have another game. No, we don't. It is all in their hands. It is all in somebody else's hands. If we did our stuff, we wouldn't be We wouldn't be sitting here having this conversation.
We'd be cracking bottles right now, looking up tickets right now. Me and you.
Right. It would just be, where are you sitting at Cowboy Stadium next week? That's what the conversation would be. So hopefully also, last thing I'll say before we get to sponsors. If win or lose, I would like another game just for the reps.
Yeah.
Let's run it again for the cardio. Let's get him, and like I said before, I want to see Bijan and Roshan get the opportunity to play in a game of significance. And the Alamo Bowl is not that. Let's just be real. Like, if that's, no disrespect, I will go. Tran will go. We'll go and support the team. But that's not what we're talking about. That's not a championship game. I'm just saying I want to see them run. All right, Renzo, take care, brother. I want to see them run. I want to see them compete in a championship game, in a game of true significance. Now, some of you may comment or say in the chat, Steve, they had their chance and they didn't get it, and it's unfortunate. They had their all they had to do was beat one of either Tech or Oklahoma State or TCU or whoever else, and we wouldn't be sitting here talking about this. But damn it, they've given this university so much, and they've given us so many memories. And I'm gonna tell you this. Shout out to my brother Kieran, who was in here earlier. Kieran and I have this conversation all the time, generationally, when it comes to players we rooted for and things didn't go, or history rewrites the narrative. Remember what Bijan was for this school, and remember what Roshan was for this school, because 20 years from now, people are only going to look at box scores. And and when I say people, I'm saying people that didn't see them play real time. So they'll say, like, because in my opinion, I have Bijan only below Ricky and Earl.
Yeah.
In the running back pantheon of the best runners I've seen wear a Texas uniform, I have Bijan Robinson third. I have him, and I never thought I would say, oh, I saw somebody run better than Jamal Charles ran or better than Deontay Foreman ran, and guys that I got to see, right? So, but what I don't want is, I want them to have the opportunity to play in a game of significance, so that people don't go back and say, well, when we're in 2040 and they're like, well, Bijan was nice, but he only ran for 29 yards in the TCU game. He only ran for 50 yards in this game. Like, how good was he really? Because that's what happens with some of these kids nowadays. No, bro, it was different. Okay. And we have to do the job to tell the story. All of us here that have eyes, whether you're young, old, however long you've been watching Texas, tell the story correctly of how much of a badass Bijan Robinson was. Tell the story correctly of how much of a badass Roshan Johnson was. Period. There is no yeah, bro, but with these players.
Yeah.
Not this type of player. No. You tell them that Roshan Johnson switched positions and played against LSU in 7 days of being at the position and battled his ass off. And that's what he was his whole career at Texas. That's the story. But, the stats may not always reflect. The games may not always reflect. The teams in the future may go on to win championships, and people say, Oh yeah, but those so-and-so was better. Don't remember what you saw, or don't forget what you saw. Don't forget what you saw. That's my parting shots there. I don't want to get emotional or anything, but I really love those guys. They're great players and great kids,
Same.
great people in this world, and they deserve that respect. Go Jayhawks! I want to see them run one more time in Arlington. That's what I want to see.
I will be sitting right next to you, my friend.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. Guys, if you are looking to bet any of these games, there's still games popping off right now. Live betting. North Carolina State is tied now. I'm seeing Mizzou and Arkansas 29-27. Some great games going on. Hit up busr.com/fanatic. The official sportsbook, official betting partner of Fanatic Perspective. We got Tran out here running game with his kids, getting some hot tips, on scores and stuff. Use that promo code Sports100FP. We appreciate it.
Hey, I'm gonna ride it. I'm gonna ride till this train falls off.
Hey man,
ride the hot streak. Let it ride.
right? Why not? Why not? And we got Last Stand Hats in the building. LastStandHats.com/fanatic. We changed the link. It's just Fanatic now. LastStandHats.com/Fanatic. Promo code Fanatic10. 10% off at checkout. Thank you guys for all that you do. Tran, happy Thanksgiving. Thank you for your friendship, your brotherhood, just the example you always set as a friend. Wait a second. What is going on here? This is This is not who I think it is.
Hello.
Oh my goodness, it's Jay Bass.
Hello.
You came on right when I was wrapping up, brother.
Yeah, I did. I had to get here just at the last minute. At the last minute.
Oh man. Well, it's a pleasure to have you here, Jay Bass. I'm gonna let you go because I appreciate you. I know you need to get to the family.
I appreciate it. Happy Thanksgiving.
I'm gonna let Jay Bass give his parting shots.
Welcome,
Tran.
Yeah,
love you, brother.
I mean, take it easy. No, I just think it was a phenomenal win. I think we saw a lot of good things from Sark. I'm starting a new narrative. We got the road win, the comeback victory today at halftime. Those are two narratives that were taken away. Also, 7-win Sark. All that is over
Can't
with.
say that anymore.
We get the matchup in the Big 12 championship game. We also get a bowl game, and bowl game practices are big time, especially for Quinn's growth and development. I mean, you're looking at pretty much an entire spring during this bowl season. So with the amount of practices that we're going to be able to have, the amount of growth, I mean, it's all the way up. So 3 narratives in total were destroyed today, and we finished the regular season with a win. I mean, ups and downs all year, but to finish at least with the trajectory going up top, I mean, we're on the way. Growing takes time. It all it's a process. Yeah, exactly. It just takes time. That's all it is. So, I mean, I'll take it. I will take it. Sorry, I'm late.
No, you just missed my emotional goodbye or whatever you want to call it to Bijan and Roshan, and essentially, those brothers, just what they do, what they've done to take this team on their back.
Right.
No surrender, no retreat. Right. Just say whatever it takes, we will do it. 5-2, and I just want people to know, I want Kansas to win tomorrow so much just to see them run in Arlington in a game of significance, playing for a championship. That would mean the world to me, Jay Bass. If I could see those two in particular, if I could see them in that situation, in that type of game, in a rematch versus TCU. And whatever happens, happens. But just to let them play in a game of that magnitude, I think that would mean something for them and their careers at Texas. But I want this to be very clear. we must remember and tell the story correctly of how great these players were for us
Yes.
and what they meant for this program. Don't let the record fool you. Don't let the lack of accolades fool you. Don't let anything fool you. These are some of the best young men to ever come through this program. And I've been
Right.
watching this team for not 30 plus years, I'm lying. I'm 34, but 25 years.
Out the
Put it
womb.
that way.
You're watching them out the womb.
So I had to give them their flowers, man. What a performance. What a 3 years for Bijan, 4 years for Roshan, and everything that they meant. Incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. And I see Corey's comment about what takes time, and I'll elaborate just a little bit. In my heyday of Texas football during the 2000s, it was 9 wins was pretty much automatic, right? We knew that at least we'll be 9-3, possibly 10 wins with a bowl season. That was, you could just take that to the bank. And I think that sort of expectation for the program year in and year out, that level of consistency, that's the thing that takes time. Herman had a great year in year 2, but he couldn't sustain that. Charlie Strong obviously struggled for the duration of his coaching tenure at Texas. But what we want is to be consistent. We want to be able to say that we really don't want to be able to say Texas is back, because Texas is currently in the mix for a conference championship, for a national championship. So that level of consistency is what I refer to when I say it takes time. This 1 year, obviously great. Hopefully we make the Big 12. But, as Texas fans, we have the biggest expectations, the biggest standards, and the biggest aspirations, and that's to be national championship contenders. And so, with the growth, with the youth that we have, with their development, we can get there. We see positive signs. This second half, Sark, hey, he realized Quinn, whoever you want to blame, when Quinn dropped back, something bad was happening. Whether it's his fumble, whether it's Jay Witt's fumble, whether it's the safety, something bad was going on. So what he did was he said, hey, I'm going to put the ball in my best players, my most experienced older guys, and I'm just going to ride them. I got my Texas trucker hat on, because today we was trucking. All right. We was ground and pound in the second half. And my biggest thing, I commented in our group chat, hey, if it's working, stay with it. And that it takes, I know Sark, and he wants deep shot. He wants to go deep off that play action so bad for that explosive play. I get it, but that was working today. And I think we saw some maturity on his part to say, hey, you know what? We need this game for our seniors, last game for the Big 12 championship potentially. And we're gonna ride the Bulls that pretty much brought us to this point.
He coached to win. He coached to win today. He wasn't coaching to say, oh, I'm trying to develop this or work on this or I like this. No, who do I need and what do I need to win this football game and get out of here? That's how he, that's how he finished. I also think with what you're seeing from Sark and this program is also identity. And he said at the beginning of the season, we're a running football team. You acted as such. There's time to help this quarterback, develop the quarterback. And Jay Bass, I said a long time ago in the show, and I told Landon this, they're going to have to come to a meeting. I think this happens with all quarterbacks and coaches, of what I'm allowed to do versus what I have to do to execute in your offense. But I also, as a quarterback, need to take ownership. At some point, this is my baby. And I need to also have the authority to do what I need to do and feel confident and in command at the line of scrimmage so I can be decisive and be a general for this football team. But in order for me to do that, I also I have to fully understand this entire offense. And that is what I'm tasking Quinn Ewers with, so that he can shut out the noise that is sure to come once Arch Manning comes to campus. It's just the reality of the situation. But that's what he has to prove.
I mean, I agree with everything. And I think Quinn will probably be one of the first people to tell you that he has some growing in, whether on the field, his physical attributes, his decision making, and also his maturity, and leadership. That you heard the announcers, they were kind of commenting on his body. And, I try not to harp on him too much because he is, still getting acclimated to being a college football player, right? But at the same time, the quarterback is a natural leadership type position. And so when things aren't going wrong, it doesn't help to have the negative body language. You need to be uplifting and encouraging. And I know he's not necessarily a rah-rah guy, but hey, sometimes you've got to be vocal. I mean, sometimes players need to hear it. And not only, when you're digging in their butt for doing something bad, but also to lift them up and say, hey, you know what?
That's
I know
fair.
you messed up on that last play, but hey, we still got this. Keep your head up. We got this. And so he'll learn that. And as he becomes more confident, I think the players around him will become more confident. And, that's just natural progression, I believe.
Absolutely. Shout out to Stan Drayton, who is playing. By the way, it's Stan Drayton now the head coach at Temple. Temple's out there playing with E.J. Warner at quarterback, son of Kurt Warner. Kurt Warner got a lot of kids. E.J. Warner's out there. True freshman starting quarterback for Temple, who put up, I think, 480 yards against Houston. They almost upset Houston a few weeks back, but Stan Drayton over there building his program in Philadelphia. And for those who don't know, he was our running back coach and associate head coach who helped bring in guys like Bijan Robinson, who helped develop guys like Roshan and the Keontae Ingrams of before, guys that are in the league today, right? And guys that will be in the league. So, and young men of character as well. So Tashard Choice has definitely kept the party going. And very, very
Did you see the tweet by Baxter?
I saw the last tweet I saw by Baxter was feed him.
Yep. And he's gotta love Sark's the decision to just keep pounding it and pounding it and pounding it. I know he loved that. So I have no worries about him being in the class.
Because now has a question for you about officiating.
Okay, let's see. Okay, see, I was in a good mood, and now you come out with this question. Never in all the college football games that I've watched, have I ever seen them rule a option pitch as a fumble on the field. Like, even if it was, let's just say in a hypothetical world that it was a bump or a forward pass, I've never seen that benefit of the doubt given on the play type, given on the fact that it was so close, and then just the mere fact that they just apparently they went and reviewed it.
It didn't feel like they reviewed it at all.
No, they didn't. I mean, thankfully they gave us the timeout back. That's the least they could do is give us the timeout back. But I'm like, that was, if you look at it, it's straight down the line. That is a fumble 7 days of the week, 24 hours a day. And then I'm sure y'all talked about the holding already. Look, it's just one of those things I've come to expect. I would have, if in a fantasy world where I was a coach, I would just tell them, hey, look, we playing against Baylor and the refs today, and they both can't stop us. And they didn't stop us today. So, hey, it is what it is.
That's the energy you have to have, especially when you're in the heat of battle, right? We've all been in, you played with some great players, from what I heard.
Shout out to Jeremy Curley from
Jeremy Curley. But I'm sure y'all were in battles where it's like, what the hell's going on with the whistle, right? And it's just like, but as a player, you have to overcome it, and it stinks, and it can play with your psyche if you allow it.
For sure,
it can.
Yeah, you just gotta redirect it. You just gotta, instead of getting frustrated and say, you know what, I am that good. I'm so good and I'm so bad that, hey, they need the refs, they need their cousins, they need fans at home, they need everybody's help to defeat me and my team. That's how you got to look at it. And to be honest, the way the season's been going, and the calls, especially Oklahoma State. I mean, not calling a penalty on the other team is crazy, but hey, they need all that help because we're Texas, as the slogan says. So it is what it is.
Jay Bass, any parting thoughts here before we wrap up? Let me ask you a few questions I asked the chat earlier. Jalen Ford,
Okay.
does he have your vote for Defensive Player of the Year
Man.
for the Big 12?
Unanimous. It should be a unanimous. I know there's great defensive end from Texas Tech, another great defensive lineman, Kansas State, plenty of good defensive players in the conference, but I mean, his stat line is absolutely ridiculous. And it's one of those things where he passes the eye test. So you look at his stats on paper, you say, okay, well, he checks the box all the way pretty much in every category for being defensive player of the year on paper. And then you watch him play and he makes impactful plays right when we need him the most, momentum shifting type plays. So without question, Texas should have the offensive and defensive player of the year. And you can make an argument for, K-Rob. Early in the season, he was blocking punts. He's been, just tremendous on our special teams. So it's just one of those things. I don't think it should be close. But again, the conference, a little iffy with the refs. I don't know if that, conspiracy theory time, but you never know how they're going to look at a Texas player through those biased lens that they have.
Yeah, and I know, like, on these all-conference teams, TCU should be well represented when you're 11-0. You'll get votes. But to your point, I mean, Texas legit has a case for offensive.
Yeah, see, 2 offensive calls against opposing Texas all season. That's crazy. That's crazy. That is crazy.
Texas has a case for offensive player of the year and defensive player of the year. They have a legit case. And
what did JJ say? Huge shout out for the development. Yep.
They shouldn't win. I didn't get a DM from you. You gotta give me I didn't get a DM. We'll do another live. We'll do another live. But y'all, I appreciate everybody coming on and chopping it up and showing us some love here in the chat. And it's been a lot of fun. The Jay Bass, we're gonna do some more lives this week, so
okay.
We'll definitely have you on board, man, as time permits, because whether it's us hopefully us preparing for a conference championship game, or what's to come with our roster as we go into bowl season and bowl prep. There's still a lot to discuss with this show and with this team. I saw the show, so I said show, but this team, and I appreciate everything. So, guys, follow Jay Bass. I'm gonna put his Twitter up here.
Please.
Mr. Fresh.
I've finally got my channel going, so I'm trying to get like Steven and the rest of the gang. Y'all have been my biggest inspiration. I appreciate you all welcoming me into the circle of Texas content creators. So I'm extremely grateful for that. But I've got 2 new shows coming up. I have another one, breaking down Quinn's mechanics, everything just everything in between. Follow-ups to the games. Hopefully Steven will invite me back. And so we'll be able to have a good time talking Texas football.
As always. Man, thank you so much, Jay Bass. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you are subscribed. Helps us grow the platform. Hit the like button. That's the first step to the path to support. It's free to show love. Everybody, enjoy the rest of your Thanksgiving weekend. Enjoy with your families. Appreciate y'all. Horns always up. Peace.
Always. Hook 'em.